Hey everybody, it is week 8 of my Writer Wednesday series that I've been doing here on Facebook. And this week I am in knee deep, maybe bigger than that, like neck deep, is that a thing? In marketing, book marketing. So I've been doing quite a bit of research, of testing, of just getting my hands dirty and trying to figure out what I can do in order to be successful with the rest of the series of the Pendamis Chronicles when they launch later on this year. And just as a quick update, I've actually been making progress with Revolutions as well. I just made it to the dreaded last 6 chapters. I've been talking about this on and off the past couple of weeks. And oh dear God. So yeah, I'm now at the part where I have to start going through, mushing in the things that I know need to come in now. The reveals and the final pieces are coming together. And then I need to get it off to my beta readers and editors and see what happens. So Revolutions is almost done. Polarities I'll go back to then once it's off to the readers, and we'll see what happens with that. But going back to the book marketing, it was one of the things that I know I didn't do very successfully with Pendamis. And the reason it didn't go successfully is mostly I just didn't put the effort in. And it was semi-conscious. I knew I wasn't doing as much as I could. I did book blog tours and I was able to gain some traction that way, which was great. But I also, once the tours were finished, I really didn't do a whole lot other than kind of once in a while promote my website, promote Pendamis in a very kind of sideways kind of way. And I think part of it really came back to not being, I guess, sure of myself or sure of the way that marketing is handled. I don't like the sleazy kind of, oh, buy my book, it's the best thing ever. Marketing mentality, and it seems like there's a lot of that going on, not just within the book industry but in general. And I think for myself at least, I needed to kind of work through some of that to try to figure out what's effective, what works on me, so that I honestly don't feel like I'm being marketed to, and appreciate that someone was able to let me know there was something worth value, or had a value that I felt was worthy enough of my time and money. So for this week, I've taken a lot of different steps, probably more so than I have even since the very beginning. And so I just wanted to share some of those with you in case you're an author or you're thinking about becoming a self-published author like I am. There's a lot that actually goes into it, and you'd be surprised just how much there is, especially if you want to be successful with it. Sure, you can sit back and you can kind of let nature do its course, but it's probably not going to be as successful as if you really kind of get into the nitty-gritty of marketing. So here's just a kind of a rundown of some of the things I've learned and some of the things I've done this week. One of the big things was my website. I went through and created a new landing page or new homepage for my website so that it's a little more visually interesting, but it also created an opt-in. So when you go to the website, it'll pop up a little pop-up. I know they're kind of annoying sometimes, but I'm giving away a free Kindle ebook of Pendamis. And the reason I'm doing that is honestly to get people to, number one, read the book and see if they like it. And then number two, be aware of the fact that there are 2 more books coming out later this year. And hopefully 3, they'll join my email list so that when those books are coming out, now I have a direct line to you, the consumer, to and hopefully fan, to know when new books are coming out. Not just the next two books in the series, which obviously you probably already know are coming out, but later on as things develop and change in my book career, in my author career, I want to be able to communicate with my fans and my readers. So those were done. I also created a press room, which was something it didn't occur to me until taking one of the classes I've been doing today, but giving an opportunity for people in the media to be able to find my author headshot, my book covers, and even a bio, to be able to lift those off pretty quickly from my website. So I created that page. And in saying that, I've also even gone out and talked to a local magazine to see if they'd be interested in picking me up for the Pendamis Chronicle stories. And they're putting it in one of their lineups for later on this year. Hopefully, they have their editorial meeting this week. So I also have 2 fellow authors that I'm in talks with trying to come up together and cross promote each other. So that's another way that authors can try to leverage themselves and also kind of help out the author community. I think one of the things that a lot of authors make the mistake on is that they all feel like, oh, you're another author, so you're my competition. But that's not the case. Everybody has their own style, their own way of writing, their own story, their own voice, everything. And so we're all in this together. And when you have authors coming together and they're able to communicate together and leverage each other up, you kind of build a bigger community, because these are oftentimes the same readers. So when your favorite author is teaming up with another one of your favorite authors, that's a great thing, because it goes, hey, these people are right on the same line as me. So that's something I'm working on as well. I mentioned that I've been doing a lot of learning. So I took 2 different webinars this week, one with Kathleen Gage and then one with Joanne Penn and Nick Stevenson. I'm not quite sure how he pronounced it. I missed that early on in the webinar. But Kathleen Gage, I actually ended up going a little bit further and enrolling in her book accelerator program, because she goes into a lot of talk about the pre-launch of books, the launch itself, and then the post-launch and what you can do to leverage it afterwards. And it's not so much about leveraging it and trying to market people to the point where they're just completely sick to death of you, but really trying to capture the essence of the book, the essence of what you're trying to portray. And honestly, as an author, you put a lot of time into writing your books. So you want people to read it. And that's really ultimately the goal of any author. So with that, I've been going through, like I said, pre-launch, launch, post-launch, and I've learned quite a bit. Luckily, because I had book 1 already out there, a lot of the pre-launch stuff I already have in place, because I've gone through much of it already. I've done it before, and some of it I haven't done completely by myself. For example, book blog tours. I had 2 different companies help me with that last time, and this time I'm looking at doing it myself to see if it's something that I can manage and keep track of. So we'll see. We'll let you know how that goes this year. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I do have my list of all the bloggers who helped me out last time. So if you're a book blogger and you are someone who looked at Pendamis, read Pendamis, put a review out for Pendamis last time, don't be surprised when you hear from me very soon. And I have signed up for many Facebook groups. After taking this course, I've also learned about Thunderclap, I've heard of it. I've never really done much with it. So this was the first time I've really delved into it, kind of got some insight into Thunderclap, started my first Thunderclap campaign. So if you see any tweets about that and you're interested in trying to help out a fledgling author get some of her book deals out there, that would be great. Like I said, the Thunderclap is about the free ebook for signing up to my newsletter. So that's what that is. And with the Joanne Penn and Nick Stevenson webinar, that was your first 10,000 readers. So for me, that was really interesting and fascinating to listen to the side of really trying to get your email list up to snuff and trying to get people interested beforehand, so you have that direct link to your fans and to the readers who will hopefully become almost like brand ambassadors, people who are really adamantly in love with what you write and think that your books and your stories are phenomenal. And while I don't know that that's the case with my books, I hope so. I have a lot of people who have read it who really do like Pendamis, and people who have read the other 2 books. Well, 1 book, the second book, my 3rd book, I think I'm the only eyes that have been on it yet. But I just want to be able to do a good job and make sure that my audience is happy with how I'm communicating with them and be able to do it in the most effective way possible. The other thing that I've been working on, so not as if that wasn't enough, I've got 2 other big things. I've signed up for a couple of sites that I hadn't heard of before. Well, 2 of them I hadn't heard of before. One I had heard of, but I hadn't signed up as an author yet. And so I wanted to share those with you in case you're interested in either A, finding free or discounted books, or if you are looking into ways to be able to promote your own books as an author. So the first one was instafreebie.com. I heard about this from PK Tyler. She's awesome. So if you haven't read her novels or checked her out, she is phenomenal. She's a great lady, and I highly recommend her. I've known her since the very beginning. When I first started writing Pendamis way back in the day, she and I had got together. I've even helped with some of the beta reads for some of her books. So in the past I haven't recently, but she's a great lady, and she's actually one of the authors that I'm in talks of doing a cross promotion with. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens there. And then the other one was writersupport.com. I heard about this from one of the Facebook groups, and that one, it's not posting free books like the Insta freebies. I do have Pendamis out there, and people can download the Kindle version, the ebook, or the EPUB version, or a PDF. It's all up to you about which one, and hopefully if you like the book, you would then want to follow me through my email list. So it gives you that opt-in there as well. The last one was BookBub, and that was the one that I had known about before. I follow it. I am obviously a reader myself, so I follow the typical genres that I enjoy, and then signed up as an author, and it's in the approval process right now. See if I can speak today. And last but not least, Amazon. Oh, the joys of Amazon. I've been researching and looking into, you wouldn't think Amazon is as in-depth as it is, but it really is. There's a lot going on there. From Amazon SEO, trying to make sure that the words you put in your descriptions, in your titles, making sure that it all ranks so that if people are searching for it, your book actually comes up. Or trying to figure out ways to do giveaways. Did you know you could do giveaways right there in Amazon? You can. You don't need Rafflecopter. You can just do it right there in Amazon. I did not know that. I've also updated my Amazon Author Central page. So I've done a little bit bigger of a description of who I am, what I do. So I went into depth about that I'm a freelancer that does graphic design, that does content creation, and then obviously is a writer as well. So I've done all of those things too. And so we'll see if any of this stuff pays off. I have to think that something will, even if it's not a complete 100%, everything's going to stick, and then all of a sudden, waha, everything and everyone is very happy with the Pendamis Chronicles. But it's still better than doing absolutely nothing and doing the hope method of marketing. So, it's been a week. It's been a crazy week. And one of the things I have to remind myself is sometimes is to slow down just a wee bit. But you also, when you have the energy and the drive and the passion and the wherewithal to go for it and interest to actually continue to push through it, it's really important to do that and to kind of ride that wave while you can, because it's not always going to be there. There will be times when you just don't feel like putting in the energy for it. It's like, oh gosh, do I have to do some more of it? But if you have a lot of the systems in place, so much of it can be automated to the point where you don't really have to do a whole lot. And ultimately that is my goal, to get everything organized, to get it set up and ready to kind of do its thing on its own. I would rather spend my time writing, because that's what I love to do. And if that means putting some time in beforehand, then that's obviously what I'm going to do. So that's where I'm at for this crazy week 8. I hope some of the things that I've learned this week are things that you'll kind of consider and maybe think about too. I've done a lot more than just that this time or this week, but oh, hey Kate, you're kind of late to the thing here. We're 16 minutes in. But anyway, and I still can't see you. I don't know if you're saying anything. So I'm swiping. You told me to swipe last time. Video only mode. Swipe left to reveal comments. I swipe left. Swipe left. Leave a comment, Kate, if you if you can. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so it's been a crazy week. Kate, if you want to take a look and see what I've actually said before, you can watch the video when it goes live. And anyway, that's kind of what I am doing, and it's been a crazy week. we'll keep you posted next week. I'm not quite sure what the topic is going to be just yet, but my son, who is just coming into his young adult years, he is almost 12. He'll be joining me, and I might pick his brain about what he looks for in a young adult book himself. He's read Pendamis and he's read Polarities. He is one of my beta readers, and so for me, he's kind of the beginning of my audience, and hopefully it goes on up into my age, which is way too old to be reading young adult, but that's okay. I love it. So, Kate, I still don't know if you've left any comments. It just says you've joined. So I have live viewers. I can see you as a live viewer, and that's it. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment here in the video. If you are interested in more details about how you can sign up for my newsletter or get that free book of Pendamis, head over to my website. It's carissaandrews.com. And we'll talk to you again next week. Bye!